The sun bleeds out across the horizon, not in warmth, but in warning. For the people, this daily death of the light is the beginning of the long terror. From the mouth of a shallow limestone overhang, an old female watches the shadows stretch like grasping fingers from the tree line. Her face, a mask of deep lines and heavy brow, is impulsive, but her knuckles are white where she grips a smooth river stone. She has seen this spectacle more than 50 times the cycle of the full cold, and each time, the feeling is the same. The world shrinks to this single, defensible space. The great, open land of the hunt ceases to exist. There is only the cave, and the night that comes for it. This is the unchanging rhythm of prehistoric life. A fragile existence carved out at the edge of extinction. Behind her, the rest of the clan, a small band of perhaps 15 individuals, huddles deeper within the rock's embrace. The air grows thick with the scent of damp earth, unwashed bodies, and the sharp, metallic tang of fear. A young female, barely a woman, watches the old matriarch, her own gaze flitting nervously toward the encroaching darkness. She learns the vigil not from words, but from this shared, silent tension. The gnawing in her belly is a familiar ache, a constant companion. The hunters returned early again today, their shoulders slumped, carrying only a few scavenged roots and a single, scrawny hair. It is not enough. It is never enough when the beast patrols the twilight. Their small clan of Homo heidelbergensis, a species of early humans defined by their growing mind's uncooperative nature, finds itself outmatched by a far simpler, more ancient power. The first sign is not a sound, but the absence of it. The clear ring of insects fades. The bird song that chattered through the afternoon falls silent. The forest holds its breath. A scarred male, his armor roadmap of past failures, tightens his grip on the fire-hardened tip of his yew-spear. It is a pathetic ward against the coming shadow, but it is all he has. The others press closer together, the small children burrowing into their mother's sides, their whimpers instinctively muffled. They become a single, trembling organism, its senses strained, listening for the footfall that means death. They are a people caught in the great transition of hominid history, possessing the intelligence to understand their trap but lacking the tools to break it. This is the price of the beast's domain. The vast herds of deer and horse, the Pleistocene megafauna that should sustain them, have been pushed from this valley. The great cave lion, a predator of terrifying size and cunning, has claimed it. The clan remembers the one it took 3 moons ago, a young male, too bold, who strayed too far from the group as the light began to fail. They found only a splintered spear and a patch of blood-soaked earth. No, they are prisoners of the sun. Their world is divided into 2 non-negotiable states. The brief, anxious daylight of the hunt, and a long, cold siege of the night. A low growl, more vibration in the chest than a sound in the ear, rolls out of the darkness. It is an announcement of effortless power, of absolute ownership. A massive silhouette detaches itself from the gloom at the edge of the trees, its pale coat absorbing the last of the ambient light. It does not rush. It does not need to. The lion sits, a monolithic predator, and watches them. It knows they are trapped. It knows their pathetic spears are useless in the dark. This is not a hunt. It is a war of attrition, and the beast has the unassailable advantage of time, and the night itself was its greatest ally. The standoff stretches, each moment carved from a block of pure tension. The lion does not move. The clan does not breathe. But another hunter is gathering its strength on the horizon. The wind shifts, carrying a new scent not of pine or beast, but of ozone and distant, damp earth. The air thickens, growing heavy and charged. Fire of thunder rumbles, a low growl that answers the lion's own, and the grey cat flattens its ears, its golden eyes blinking with an ancient unease. A storm is coming. This is a force that even the apex predator respects. For the clan, it is merely a different kind of misery. The cold that precedes the rain seeps into their bones, a deeper chill than the night alone can provide. Then the sky cracks open, A flash of white-blue light bleaches the world of color, followed by a deafening explosion of sound that seems to tear the very fabric of the air. The clan flinches as one, pressing their faces into the cold stone. The rain begins not as a drizzle, but as a torrent, a solid wall of water that turns the clearing into a churning sea of mud. The lion, its majestic patience broken, gives a final, frustrated snarl and melts back into the tree line, ceding the night not to the small, clever apes, but to the storm's superior violence. The immediate threat is gone, but the clan's relief is short-lived as the wind howls into their shallow shelter, driving the icy rain in upon them. They are exposed, miserable, and their world has been reduced to a single, primal imperative: endure. Another bolt of lightning strikes, this one terrifyingly close. A massive, ancient pine on the ridge opposite the cave erupts in a pillar of fire. The clan cries out, shielding their eyes from the sudden, violent birth of a new sun. Fire is a known enemy. They have seen it consume the grasslands, driving game before it in a blind panic. It is a force of pure destruction, but the young female, the one who watches the matriarch, sees something else. In the strobing, unnatural light, she sees the darkness recoil. She sees the deepest shadows, where things might hide, vanish. A connection is made, a spark leaping across this inactive gap in a moment of pure, desperate genius, an idea so profound and dangerous it has no precedent in the oral traditions of her people. She turns not to her mother, but to the scarred male with the useless spear. He is old, but his eyes still hold a spark of feral intelligence. He has survived encounters that killed others. He understands risk. She does not use sounds. She uses her hands, her eyes. She points to the burning tree, then to the mouth of their cave, then back to the tree. She mines warmth, her hands held out to an imaginary flame. She mines a circle of light, a protected space. It is a pantomime of hope, an act of primitive technology in its most conceptual form. The old man stares, his brow furrowed. He sees the madness of it leaving the shelter, approaching the destroyer. But he also sees the logic. He sees the lion's retreat. He sees a future that is not dictated by the setting sun. He looks at his simple lean hand axe, a tool for butchering meat, and weighs it against the smooth, impossible purpose. With a slow, deliberate nod, he accepts the gamble. Together, they slip from the relative safety of the overhang into the raging heart of the storm. The wind tears at them, the rain blinding them. They are two small, fragile figures in a world of chaos, fighting their way toward a star that has fallen to earth. The journey is 100 paces that feels like 1,000. They reach the blazing pine. Its heat a searing blast that pushes them back. The scarred male, using his axe, hacks at a fallen branch, a limb of manageable size that burns with a steady, determined light. It is heavier than he expected. He hefts it, a torch against the storm, and they begin the perilous journey back, shielding the fragile, captured god with their own bodies. The clan sees them emerge from the deluge, a single, dancing light moving through the darkness. The star is coming home. They bring the struggling flame into the shelter, and the clan recoils. This is not a tool, like a sharpened stone. It is a living thing hissing, spitting, consuming the wood it has fed. It is a piece of the storm, a fragment of the destructive force they have feared for generations, now caged in their home. The matriarch stares into its dancing halt, her face a mixture of terror and awe. The young female and the scarred male place the burning branch in a shallow pit they have scraped in the cave floor, feeding it a careful diet of dry twigs and bark. For the first time, the interior of their home is not a place of deep shadows but is filled with a warm, moving light. It paints their faces in hues of orange and red, revealing expressions they have only ever known in the stark light of day. This is a turning point in human evolution, a moment when the environment ceases to be a force to be merely endured and becomes something that can be shaped. The storm passes as dawn approaches. The day is spent in a state of anxious discovery. The children, at first terrified, are drawn to the light's warmth. Their small hands held out to a sun that does not set. The hunters find that meat held over the flame becomes tender, releasing a rich aroma and energy their bodies have never known. The act of eating becomes a communal focus around the hearth. But as the sun once again begins its descent, the true test arrives. The old fear returns, a deep-seated instinct that a single day of warmth cannot erase. They pour more wood onto the fire, and it grows into a roaring bonfire, a defiant beacon against the coming twilight. From the tree line, a beast emerges. It pads into the clearing with the same arrogant confidence. Its massive head low, it expects the familiar scene. The huddled shapes, the scent of fear, the slow siege. Instead, it is met with a wall of shimmering light, a fire dances and crackles. An entity as wild and unpredictable as the lion itself. The great cat stops, its tail twitching in agitation. Its night vision, its greatest weapon, is rendered useless by the dazzling glare. It cannot see past the flames to the frightened prey huddled behind it. It sees only a shifting, monstrous creature of light and shadow. This is no longer a simple contest of predator and prey. It is a fundamental clash that will define the arc of hominid history. The scarred male steps forward, not with a spear, but with another burning branch held aloft like a standard. He does not challenge the lion. He challenges the darkness that is its ally. The firelight throws his shadow onto the cave wall behind him, making him a giant. The lion, in contrast, is caught between the fire and the dying day, its own formidable shadow shrunken and indistinct. It lets out a low, frustrated growl, a sound of confusion rather than aggression. It paces the edge of the light's reach, a perimeter now defined not by roar, but by courage and a captured star. The beast that has terrorized them for seasons is held at bay by a power it cannot comprehend. After a long moment of thwarted will, the lion turns and vanishes back into the diminished night. It has not been defeated in a battle of flesh, but in a battle of shadows. In the aftermath, there is no celebration. There is only a profound, shivering awe. The clan sits in a circle around their fire, their faces illuminated. They look at one another, truly seeing the community they form in the heart of the darkness. They are the custodians of a dangerous god, a demanding power that must be constantly fed and respected. They are no longer just human ancestors waiting for the sun. They have pulled a piece of it down from the sky and made it their own, forever changing their place in the world. The night is still vast and full of terror, but it is no longer absolute. They have found a flicker of hope in the deepest dark. In the immense darkness of a continent, a single point of light now burns where before there was none. It is a frontal victory, a tiny spark against an ocean of night. But it is the beginning of a rebellion. This fire will not conquer the world, not yet, but it has conquered a space within it, a hole. With this stolen flame, the long night is pushed back, creating the hours needed for innovation, for storytelling, for the complex social bonding that will become the bedrock of our species. The cooked meat provides the caloric surplus to fuel a rapidly expanding brain. The warmth allows survival in colder climates, pushing these small bands of hominids into new, uncharted territories. That single, desperate act of capturing a burning branch was not just for one clan's survival. It was a down payment on the future of an entire lineage. We are the inheritors of that desperate gamble. The instinct to gather around a source of light, to share stories and warmth while keeping the unknown at bay, is a ritual that echoes from that first fire. We have built bigger fires, tamed greater energies, but the fundamental impulse remains. To draw a circle of light against the darkness we feel will always be waiting. We are the children of that first flame. We carry its light and its memory of the dark. But fire attracts more than just the frightened.